गब्बर सिंह ये कह कर गया, जो डर गया वो मर गया. Why is it I'm starting with this song? Two reasons. I don't know, 2 days back I was thinking like who are the most beautiful heroines in Bollywood, and Madhuri Dixit name came to my mind, and I happened to say this song. But there is also one thing very important, and I will tell it. If I see so many people on camera, I'm seeing many people hiding behind camera. जो डर गया समझो वो मर गया. So guys, come on camera. Learning happens actively. So the second reason was I recollected my time when I was in Germany. The first time I went to on-site. I always regard this person as the manager. जिंदगी में मैंने बहुत सारे मैनेजर्स देखा है, but this person is the manager for very, very valid reasons. I have closely observed him even after my coming out of that organization, because I was his connection on LinkedIn. I was calling him. He was going to different companies at different levels and was asking me, are you ready to make a move? I want you to take into my team. He was becoming an executive when he was just a manager at that point of time when I was working with him in that organization. But at later stages, he actually behaved and became that executive who takes just that very, very big decisions. Now, here is a very small poll, just with a show of your hand. How many of you feel the excitement, the anxiety, the prideness of being called the executive? Show with a rise of hand. Being called the executive council and all those things. I was also thinking like that executive is somebody who is very busy all through the day, takes very, very important decisions and all the other things. But this person actually dismantled all my thoughts. And recently I happened to read a book, and I will show you that book title also, by Peter Drucker. And I realized, okay, this is some concept that I can take and actually adopt it to my life. You are going to get the reason why I am mentioning this book, the reason why each one of you is already an executive. You don't have to become an executive. You are already an executive, and I will tell you what is the reason. And finally, we will wrap up with taking help from ChatGPT, how with inputs from your life, your professional life and every other thing, it can give you a plan that will help you to become an executive. Because you are going to learn two very important things. One is you will get back the time that you feel is not in your control, and then you will also understand how to prioritize. The two very important things that are needed for an executive. How many of you have seen a CEO coming to an office and not being busy? That never comes. We all think that that person is so busy, but there is a difference here, and that is what I want to start my presentation with. So let me share my screen and bring to your front the most important aspect of being the executive. And that starts with understanding the difference between efficiency and effectiveness. If you go back 100 years back, or industrial age, and even now, where you see factories, people going and working, and also in some places in corporate life, in big organizations, so much importance is being given to efficiency. It's all about doing the task quickly and accurately. It's all about productivity. But effectiveness is what executives focus on. In the next slide, I will even go a little bit deeper to make you understand what is the difference between efficiency and effectiveness. Guys, this is not a playing with the words, but this is something very, very important for your life. If you want to, in your current stage, start behaving like an executive, because we all are by virtue of what we are. And what is that? So effectiveness is not about getting the results right, not how hard you work. So here are the definitions for you. It is not about productivity always. It is about getting the desired results. Imagine for a moment, a software company launches a product. The whole team gets the work done very effectively and they launch a product, an app or something. But it is not addressing the right market. So what is the use of having a product or an app which is not actually solving the customer problems? Everybody is ranked very high with respect to productivity, but when it comes to the effectiveness of the app, there is no market. So these are the two variations of these words, the definitions that I have put in front of you, just to trigger your thought process. On a daily basis, am I doing something which is related to efficiency or effectiveness? The monotonic nature that you see in many people who are even getting paid very well. The reason why people leave an organization is not always because of manager. Yes, there is a lion's share of that particular aspect. But people say that I am doing the same job every day. I don't feel that I am learning anything new. How many of you feel like that? I have felt like that multiple number of times. That I am doing the same job. Now that monotonic nature is what is disturbing our mind. The reason is because everyone who is an executive, and the reason why you can become an executive is because of this one aspect. Because we all are knowledge workers. We don't bank on our manual labor. Thinking is our asset. We want to be challenged. We want to be made to push our limits, because our job, we want it to involve problem solving and not manual labor. And in the modern organization that so-called we all are working for or working in, we are an executive and we are very well positioned, because we are going to add, because of our thoughts, we will be adding lot of value to the organization. No wonder that is the reason why companies, even though they have timesheets and all those things, there is always an element of flexibility that people say that, okay, you can work from home, you can do all the things, because at the end of the day, it is not the number of hours that people put, but the organization is so much worried about the effectiveness of the output. You as a manager would have done multiple number of times. Inherently, you would also felt multiple number of times about your subordinates that, okay, I really don't care how many hours this person puts, because I don't want to measure with number of hours, but I want to measure with the impact of the results. Now compare and contrast with a factory where a worker has to put 12 hours. A nurse has to put 12 hours. Still, when you consider yourself as a knowledge worker, you have high probability of shifting your gears from being efficiency driven to effectiveness driven. And that's what Peter Drucker says. And the word knowledge worker is also coined by him. And the good news, effectiveness can be learned. And when you learn effectiveness, two things happen. You take control of your time, which is what we are going to talk about, and you also learn how to prioritize. The reason why I'm stressing so much on these two aspects, and this is a book, The Effective Executive, highly recommended book for all the people who feel that high time in my career that I want to shift my gears and do the thing. At this stage, I also recollect one story when I was working for one networking giant. There is this person in our team whom we call as bug buster. In the product, in the release and all those things, whenever a release is supposed to happen and the testing happens and all those things happen before production or whatever, there used to be so many bugs. And this guy used to take so many bugs and he used to knock them off left, right, center, everything. But when it comes to giving the position, when it comes to appraisal, when it comes to promotion and all those things, this person was never considered to be the one who is ready for promotion. You know, that person is me. I used to solve so many bugs and I used to go to my manager and say during appraisal meeting, oh, I have done that. I have solved 30 bugs, 35 bugs. This release so many things and all those other aspects. But for him, it was all about efficiency only. It was not about effectiveness. I was not contributing to the meetings which were dealing with features that are to be developed. I am not contributing to the meetings which were very important to the next roadmap and what are the other things that have to be done. For him, those are all very important. He wants people who can take charge of the situation and get the results, not somebody who will just do the work and get these kind of results which are not very important. And he very pragmatically told that, Vamsi, if it is not you, somebody else. If it is not in 2 days, somebody will do it in 3 days. I am not worried about that. I am worried about the future of this product, how you can play a role and do all the things. When these kind of things happened in my life, I went and met my DA manager. And at that time, he was working as head of division or whatever in Tech Mahindra in the tractors division. Sorry, electrical vehicle division. And he gave me very, very important things. Prioritize, delegate the work and prioritize and get back your time. So how do we do that? Very simple. Not so many steps. The prompts are also very clear. Think, plan, and act. Most of you might have heard about this kind of strategy that you think, plan, and act. Now he said this very powerful statement to me that day. Given enough time to anyone, Vamsi, they will solve the problem. How many of you believe this? How many of you believe the fact that if you are given enough time in your organization, in any situation that you face as a problem, given enough time, you will somehow figure out a way to solve the problem? Whoever agreed to this, show with a raise of hand. But the issue is that everybody says, oh, I don't have time. I don't have time to strategize. I don't have time to think through and get the problem out. This is where the first point is very critical, getting back your time. The next thing is definitely the prioritization and delegation, which is what we are going to discuss. Because people all over the place, they want to step into your time and take their time. When you go to a meeting and when you see that, okay, if I don't go to a meeting, I don't know what will I miss out. I felt numerous number of times when I thought that, okay, do I need to go to this meeting or not? And when I thought the other way around, okay, maybe I will not go, then I used to get this FOMO saying that, okay, if I'm not part of that meeting, I don't know what will I miss. What is the important information that would be discussed in that meeting and I will miss? How many of you feel like that? That if people are not adding you as part of a meeting, we feel that, okay, maybe we are neglected. If we are not going to a meeting, we feel that, okay, something is being discussed there and I am not being part of it. If you look at your calendar and it is like a chessboard, with every alternate piece having different color, it means your time is not in your control. You need to have something Peter Drucker calls focus chunks. So you need to have focus chunks, and the minimum time that is required for you to get the result, not actually being productive, but to get the result, can vary between 1 hour to 1.5 hours, where you shut off all the distractions and every other thing, because focus now becomes your currency. It is not just enough to get back your time. It is also very important to focus on the right things. Those few things which will actually make the needle move. And in all these cases that I am talking about, ChatGPT can help you in a very, very wonderful way. And the booklet or the worksheet is ready for you. You will be getting it in the Facebook group. So the 2 points out of which I spoke of is getting back your time. So let us get into one more aspect of getting back your time. We have already talked about think, plan, and act. Now here is a very small, I would say, caveat that I want to mention. If you are not knowledge worker and if you are doing a manual labor, understand that even before that manual labor, there is already a thinking process. For example, look at the construction of a building. There is an action that is going on, but the thinking and the planning has already been done by some knowledge worker, which is being acted upon by not a knowledge worker. So do not fall into a trap because you wear a hat of knowledge worker that you will be missing or you will not be getting into the action mode. The results can only come when the cycle gets closed or the loop gets closed. The point here is for you to think, you need to have time. And that's why focus and getting back your time is important. So then with the time getting, you think, then you plan very strategically. You now get the action done. Now the action could be done by you or you can delegate. So this is reclaiming your time. One of the very simple things is avoid unnecessary meetings, delegate routine tasks to free up time for strategic thinking, carve out uninterrupted time for planning and thinking. This is where I told focus chunks. Do not take pride in the fact that your calendar is full of meetings. This is what I understood from the manager. He said that you are filling the calendar and you are feeling very happy that you are being productive. No, people are actually snatching away your time. Instead, you should be attending those 2 or 3 meetings which are very important for your career and the product or the project or the company where you get desired results, where you showcase your effectiveness. So always prioritize between low value tasks and high value tasks. This is what we have discussed in the previous session also, MVAs, most valuable activities. And that cannot be a universal size that fits for everyone. It has to come from your daily routine, your inputs that you give to ChatGPT. The prompts are all about tailoring a routine for you to become an executive as per your need. The next aspect, as I mentioned, is all about delegation. Do not run into FOMO. If you feel that, okay, maybe I'm missing something in the meeting if I don't go, the simplest trick is make somebody enable somebody to become an executive at their role so that they go to the meeting and they get back the essence of the meeting back to you. The so-called the manager that I told, this gentleman is not at all a technical person, but he used to manage a huge team of architects, intelligent developers, everyone. Any meeting that he goes, at the end, he used to have an essence of what are the activities to be done and how the results are going to come with these activities done. So the 3 skills or the 2 skills, if I have to say, which are very, very helpful here is listening and soft skills. And a bit of actually logical capability. So all the things as a knowledge worker that I am mentioning about, which we already have. We have listening skills. We have logical capability. And we also have soft skills. And as I mentioned, effectiveness is a skill which can be developed. So you understood the importance of the reclaiming your time. You also understood the importance of delegating the task. Because for you, in the process of becoming an executive, if your focus has to be your currency, you need to stick to this simplest strategy of think, plan, and act. You need to deliver in fact, you need to have a lot of time for your thinking and your planning. Because the acting can be done by anyone if you have a team. Nowadays, there is a lot of automation. Or you are the only one. If you have to do action, you have to do the action. But give enough time for planning and thinking so that your action really gives the result that is desired and not just filling the hours. So without further ado, let us now jump into the prompts to really understand how you can tailor. I will walk you through the prompts. We are now not getting into the ChatGPT window to actually run it because, as I mentioned, this is your unique, personalized, becoming an executive plan. I cannot give my inputs. And to also tell you one very, very important aspect. How many of you wonder, or how many of you think that, okay, these people are doing every day this 30-minute session. Where are they getting this content from? Where are they getting this, all the things? That's the most beautiful part in career, Dwar, that I am experiencing to my fullest happiness. We are not so-called the executives, but we are very, very, I should say, fortunate knowledge workers. We have very few meetings, in fact, 1 or 2 meetings, and we give lot of importance for think, plan, and act. We push ourselves to become content creators. And that is where, as I mentioned, whatever has to be automated, we are in the process of automation, but whatever has to be done in terms of our think and plan, we do that every day. If we can do in an environment which is not a corporate, like you have a lot of resources around you when you step into your office, it's only that you have to open the box and see which is the efficiency part that I am unnecessarily spending and which is the effectiveness part that I can actually work upon. So let us see the prompts and run through the prompts so that you get familiar with the prompts and then the things are in place. Yes. So confirm if you are able to see the screen. Great. It all starts with your current role, because this is where you are currently and you are now planning to become an executive. So based on the following current role and responsibilities, you need to insert your role and responsibilities. Generate a step-by-step plan to transition from being task-oriented to focusing on high-value executive tasks. This is where the concept of looking at your calendar not as a chessboard, but as something which has very, very big gaps. Now that gap is not a gap per se, but it is a gap where you are spending a lot of time thinking and strategizing. And you attend one meeting maybe and get some input, and again you get back your 1.5 hours or 1 hours of focus chunks. How can you act upon a plan if you don't have your current strengths and weaknesses? So give your strengths and weaknesses and create a personalized plan that leverages the strengths and mitigates the weaknesses to adopt executive behaviors and improve leadership skills. Now, there is one point here I want to stress. You need to follow the prompts or the sequence of prompts in order. Now, what will happen if you don't follow in order? Okay, sky won't fall, but the quality of your output may degrade. We are priming the ChatGPT to understand more about us, and this complete set of prompts is called the prompt stack. You follow that process, then your results are guaranteed to be of the quality that you desire, which you can put it into action. Effectively, if you understand what I'm speaking here, your thinking and planning is being delegated to this intelligent being in front of you. For that process or for that inputs, maybe you may have to go and do some informal interview with your boss. You may have to do some informal interview with your subordinates. If you are the one who is the culprit creating that meeting and asking everyone to come and speak, which is actually not adding any value, or it is your boss who has fascination of always meeting people and saying that, okay, personally working with somebody is so brilliant and we will get a lot of results, whichever is the case. Now, daily task breakdown. Analyze the following daily tasks. Goals for becoming an executive. This is super important. And I will relate it again to our career, to our journey that we are actually traveling. We have prepared one thing called as 1 minute goal sheet. Now, what is this 1 minute goal sheet? Every morning I get up and this is one document that I go through. I have to do this. Then I delegate time to that. That is why if you see, after writing the goals for becoming an executive or whichever is the case, for us, it is all about creating content and other things. For you, it could be different. Now it is all about chunking the time. It is about reclaiming your time, creating that focus chunks. You use any technology or any method, maybe time blocking or Pomodoro, whatever, whichever you feel. Until here, you get back, you claim your time. So if you see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the 5 prompt stack is for reclaiming your time. Now from the 6th thing, it is all about decision making style, because this is where you are supposed to delegate to someone without falling into that FOMO trap. So decision making style, for that you need to understand your decision making style, and you should first evaluate your delegation experience, because delegation is, I should say, it also gets driven by the gut feeling. Why do I delegate something to someone? Until unless I don't feel confident that this person will do. This is what some people say. Some people want to experiment and they say that until and unless if you don't give that activity to that person, how are you going to be sure that he can perform? Agree to that? Show with the rise of hand. Unless and until if that is not delegated, how will we come to know that whether that person will do or not? So you might be falling in any of the categories. So you need to understand your delegation experience and your current leadership and team management approach. If you are leading a team, for people who are part of a team, they can here write how they are getting influenced by the leadership, like how I got tremendously influenced by the manager. Yeah. Now he is heading almost 700 to 800 people. Now, finally, tell ChatGPT very clearly what is that you want, so that the plan will be customized according to your goals and needs. इतना कॉन्टेक्स्ट देने के बाद अगर आप ChatGPT से सही ढंग से अगर आप क्वेश्चन नहीं कर रहे हो या टास्क नहीं दे रहे हो कि मुझे गोल्स और ऑब्जेक्टिव्स क्रिएट करके दिखाओ, एंड फाइनली द आइसिंग ऑन द केक, long term vision for career. Wherever you see in this prompt the square bracket, I believe you understood that it is an input section. So go through these prompts and it accounts for all the things. It will help you to mind shift, task prioritization, delegation, customer focus, and leadership. And how this plan helps, it's a customized approach. At the end, it will give you a clear action steps and continuous improvement. Now, the continuous improvement is 2-factor here. One is that you need to keep on refining your inputs and reiterate. Is this clear? Show with a raise of hand. Yes. So let me run through the slides, because the rest of the slides are not. Yeah, this is what I told. Measure success by outcomes, not by time. Executive focus on results that drive business goals. So this is what is the action today. Go ahead, grab that worksheet, and have your mindset shift by acting on the inputs. Do not stop yourself saying that acha mere paas iske liye input nahi hai. Write whatever input that you know, because this is a reiteration process. If you stop now, you will not start anytime. So start now so that you will never stop. Are what a quotation. Bolte bolte quotation aa gaya. Okay, great. So let me talk about the next thing tomorrow. We are nearing to the end, nearing the final part. So tomorrow about looking to switch job, get more interviews. You have already seen this brilliant lady speaking and mind-blowing people's expectations. So tomorrow, her session about the thing. Before people drop out, here is the thing. Join WhatsApp community. Guys, go and spread the word about Career Dwar. If you are getting benefit, what goes around comes around. Yeah. So set a reminder for tomorrow, 8 a.m. Share, repost within your circle the LinkedIn post that is there in the chat box. Yes. On that note, go become executive, because I am in the process and I want to see all people becoming executives and make this country a better country. Thank you.